What's up, everybody? This is the Sports League Podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex League. We got the co-host, Amanda. Amanda, your Bills got it done. Going to the AFC Championship game.
I am real proud of my picks this week. Beat you and you. I'm glad I picked the Bills. I had a feeling, and it feels nice to be right.
You stayed hot. You rolled that into the playoffs. I'm a couple games back now. Abe, good to have you back on. What do you think of the playoffs? It's been pretty crazy. Not wearing a shirt today. What's up, Abe?
I'm getting ass. So it's freezing out here in Atlanta. Actually, it snows out, and it's like 20 something degrees. And I actually just got out of class, and I said I'm gonna throw on this little jacket and be an asshole today. I think this is probably the best football we've seen all year, man. I mean, like if you
Yeah.
talking about you being able to talk trash because y'all got a coach, Amanda being able to talk trash because her boyfriend won. Me not worrying about it because I ain't care who win. I had a great week.
Baker Mayfield is my boyfriend, just to
No,
clarify.
he may not know. So you got a boyfriend, a side dude, and a husband. So Baker's your
Uh,
side dude. Your side dude got kicked to the curb. So
Josh Allen is the
Exactly.
family pet. Josh Allen is our golden retriever. We take good care of him. He's a good boy. Like he's our pet.
Speaking of the cold, man, is been cold football. You know that snow games, two snow games. It's freezing here in Michigan as well. It's like -5 out here right now. But let's get into this weekend. So let's start with Texans Chiefs on Saturday. Um, you got to talk about the refs in this one. The Chiefs are great. The Chiefs are a great team, John, but they don't need the officiating help. And you can't even touch Patrick Mahomes, let alone you can't even get close to him because that one hit, the two defenders hit each other. They didn't even touch Mahomes and they got flagged. Like the league needs to do something about this. What did you think watching that, John?
Well, I think it's like the Tom Brady thing. They try to protect their most important players. I mean, even in
Yeah.
any kind of criteria. Like I was just thinking, like, when would there ever be a more high-paid person on the team besides a quarterback? And I think it's going to be recently because these quarterbacks are being good, but you see a lot of quarterbacks that are kind of like coming 10 years down and getting these $10 million deals, and you're gonna see mess around see like I guess a left tackle with 50 million a year instead of a quarterback who's more reassuring, who can I guess make more sense of you giving that kind of money to, and he's gonna be there for 10, 15 years. But shout out to Kelsey for having a hell of a game and extending
Yeah.
records and stuff like that. Big shout out to him. Hopefully we can see him a year or two after that. And I'm going for Kansas City anyway. Well, I'll take that back. I'm not going for Kansas City. I just see Kansas City being a team that is the best prepared for this situation. Like I think
Yeah.
most of these teams, like you said, the conditions is what. Like I think I texted the man, and I think I might have texted you too, and I said that Baltimore was the better team, but Buffalo was the best team for the conditions. And I'm just
Yeah.
real. They had a regular sunny day. I don't know if Buffalo still would have won the game. I mean, just with the turnovers, and I feel so bad for Mark Andrews because I know he's a good player, but having a bad game in big game situations does not fare well with you.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Amanda
the second
Kadri
time.
Ismail.
That's the
Kadri
second
said,
time this season
yeah,
he's been
go.
in the end zone on the right side and had a
Yeah.
ball slip through his hands to lose the game. Like
Right.
I had deja vu and I had to go look it up. It was the I think the Bengals that they were playing, but Mark Andrews, like this is now something that he's done multiple times this season. So it just sucks. Like the timing of a bad play like that.
Yeah.
He's usually got the most reliable hands on the team. That's why they go to him because Lamar's go-to guy. But and then Kadri said it, Amanda. He was saying no snow. He's like, if we have no snow, we'll be fine. But the snow kind of played a role in that. A couple turnovers. You see the big impact of who the team that turns the ball over versus the team that doesn't. The team that doesn't wins every time in these playoffs.
Well, I think the 2-point attempts and the turnovers were what really controlled the game because the Ravens had, I mean, huge parts of the game where they were fully in control. I mean, that statement drive in the second half that cut the Bills' lead to 21 to 19, like it just seemed like they were playing really well. Their run game was doing well. But then, I mean, between the fumble for Mark Andrews and then the last play of the game, it felt like there were there were some special teams issues with the 2-point conversions and the punt returns that could have played better for them, but the turnovers, absolutely. And
Yeah.
you add an element that's going to change how well people run, how slippery the field is, how cold the ball is. Like it's I mean, the element definitely helped the Bills, but the Ravens were saying they've been practicing with all their windows open, like their doors open. They've been practicing outside. So, I mean, they're from a cold area, so I don't want to like say the snow helped Buffalo win the game, but it definitely added another element to it that was more challenging.
They look way more
Well,
comfortable. They look way more comfortable. I'm sorry, Buffalo. With the interception from Lamar early, I kind of get that out of your way, and you don't let that hold on to it. Then the fumble from Lamar, then you kind of like then Mark, then it was just like the ball security stuff should have been the first thing. Like what happened? Like last week's game for me should have been this week's games. Lamar ran the ball like 8 times in a row, and they just kept
yeah.
getting in Lamar hands, make sure that he didn't. Then they just went away from that and like, let's throw the ball. Hey, we're in Buffalo. Let's throw the ball. Let's try to trick them in the snow. Like, nah, let's just give it to 22. Like, run the ball, run
Yeah.
the ball, and because Derrick Henry doesn't really fumble. Like, you don't know. Like, it was just like I don't know, man. But I honestly felt like Baltimore was the better team, but the conditions, like even with Detroit, like you can't come back from all those fumbles. I mean, come on, y'all. Like, I mean, not even fumbles. I'm sorry, turnovers.
Turnovers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I kept putting them golf things up. I don't know what the hell, dude. He had a chance to like really in this game. If he could have won this game, no matter if they went to the Super Bowl or not, if you'd have
Yeah.
got past this game, you would have loved him more, and you wouldn't have had to talk so much shit. You'd be like, hey, he made it to the game. Like just the first game to get just come on, about rookie. Oh, God, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
Well, and my beef with the Ravens, I know the elements played a role, but they did the same thing they did last year against Kansas City, where they give up on the running game. And you brought in Derrick Henry to get over the hump, and to only feed him 16 times. They had that one drive where they ran for like 60 yards, ball control, marched down the field, scored a touchdown, and then they go away from it. It made no sense. You see Saquon going crazy, and that's a big reason why the Eagles win in the snow. The Ravens' game plan should have been the exact same thing. Amanda, I mean, do you think that would have been enough? Buffalo seemed to, more comfortable at home. They were going to find a way to win it, but the Ravens also did themselves no favors either.
No, we talked about this coming into this game. Like we needed to stick with the running game. It's been working all season, but a huge difference in this game was the presence of linebackers for the Bills that didn't play in the first matchup. I mean, Terrell Bernard was playing. Matt Milano is a huge playmaker for that team.
Mm-hmm.
And missing the first one and being able to watch the game tape and see where they had issues in that first matchup. I mean, they really shut down a lot of those big explosive Raven like deep threat plays
Mm-hmm.
and then not having a lot of the run game in, it felt like the Ravens were kind of like muted. Like we weren't seeing this Ravens teams we're used to. And maybe the ground was slippery. Maybe someone, strained an ankle. Like m there might have been stuff going on that we didn't know, but it felt weird to see them in that scenario doing the same thing they did last year without, using that run game in a postseason game.
And you remember that Von Miller existed in this game with that big
Oh,
fumble
yeah.
return.
I have no issue. Like I don't have beef with Von Miller. I just forget he's still in the league. Like he's been in the league for so long. I just forget about him. Oh, sorry,
He's
Von.
still producing too, yeah.
Yes, he had a great
But
game.
John, so this is gonna set up the Bills playing the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Josh Allen's 0-3 against Kansas City in the playoffs. Do you think the Bills can get it done? It's gonna be tough, and we'll see if the refs play a role.
No, I definitely think the Bills is probably the better team, but the experience, that's the only thing I'm worried about. Because when it comes to being comfortable in that kind of environment, in
Yeah,
Kansas City, it seems like a lot of teams fold. And not saying that Texas fold, like we saw some bad calls. Let's just call a spade a spade. But at the end of
yeah,
the day, the guys that supposed to showed up, showed up.
yeah,
Kelsey showed up, Jones showed up.
yeah. Far left us.
Think about it. If Worthy played better in this game, because he made some bad decisions too. So I was looking at a lot of stuff that they didn't do compared to stuff they did do. They're a great team still. Like they haven't even used some of the weapons they have yet. I mean, like the play calling is still magnificent there. You can't really change that. So, but at Buffalo, always feel like, and this, I think any team can win if you can get time of possession.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo can control the ball. They can score early and just keep Kansas City off the field. I mean, that's what a lot of teams just want to like score 30, score 35. I'm like, man, look, I have no problem winning 12-9. Like it does
Yeah.
as long as we win the game, especially when it comes to going to a Super Bowl. So if they control if they keep him sitting down, if they keep Mahomes sitting down, I think they'll be all right.
Amanda, what did you think? I mean, we're both rooting for the Texans, and it just seemed like right off the bat, that first penalty against, on Mahomes, that was a BS penalty. And then it just seemed to get worse and worse from there. And then you got Mahomes flopping along the sidelines. It's just.
Oh my God. That one was so bad. Like he deserves a Grammy or whatever. Emmy, I don't know. For
Yeah.
acting, whatever the award is. That was so awful. Like they literally stopped running and then he kept going and then flung himself on the ground like my toddler does when he doesn't get his way. Like ridiculous. And the one where the two defenders avoided him, smacked
Yeah,
their heels
above
together
him.
as he laid. He was in the pyramid. He was safe. They protected him with their bodies, and they still got a penalty for that. And they were in very convenient parts of the game too. It wasn't
Yeah.
like these were like 1st and 10 on their own 30. Like these were very convenient situations where they desperately needed a first down. And I hate when that happens. I hate
Yeah.
seeing a game be swayed because of a call that shouldn't have happened. And we've had a lot of reference interference this postseason. Granted, the Green Bay Eagles game, I don't think would have recovered after the beginning of the game regardless, but starting to see a lot of interference and a lot of plays that shouldn't be happening because teams are getting another opportunity that they shouldn't. Like you watch the replay. Replay review exists for a reason, but
Yes.
it's not stopping these really awful like lopsided calls from happening.
Yeah, I don't know what the how to fix it, John. I mean, I say you have to make these hits reviewable. Any 15-yard personal foul, they need to be able to review it. But the refs had the chance, like upstairs, not the refs on the field, but upstairs, they had a chance to review it, and they didn't overturn it. They could have. And that's another thing that's just so infuriating, watching it as a fan.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's kind of like the Tom Brady thing. Like when I used to watch Tom Brady and I saw like somebody go lower his legs or somebody hit him like maybe a half a second late, but then you'll see Cam Newton just get clobbered.
Yeah, exactly. Or Lamar.
Yeah. But it's kind of like he is a running quarterback. Like, I mean, he's going to run, so he should be able to take some of these hits. Like you see Lamar, he take a late hit and they just kind of like, okay, it's just Lamar. Like
Yeah.
And even with Josh, you see Josh Allen, he'll take a hit on the sideline that we might think is, might be a little dirty, but it's like, no, you're not Mahomes. Like we don't go into meeting talking about, we got to watch out for 15 and you make sure nobody stays around his legs and we need him for next. He's playing this one. He got 3 Super Bowls. We got to get one more and then we got to keep it together. So it's a little different until you get to that status that you're untouchable, almost like Drew Brees was when I played for the Saints. We used to barely touch him. Oh my God, it's flag. I'm like, come on. Now, like, see, so he's one of those monarchs that you can't really touch, man. Like, no, you can't touch this guy. Even if he's running, it still feels like I see people just like, oh hell no, I ain't want this penalty. I ain't want this. People you can see people come there like, yeah, nah, player.
Yeah, you get close to him, it's an automatic penalty. 15
Right.
yards.
You got to change that rule, though. Once you're a runner, once you leave the pocket, you should not have the quarterback protections anymore. I get it. They want to protect their baby, their investment. But, like, Tom Brady didn't flop along the sideline like Mahomes either. Like, I know Brady did some shady shit, but, like, they need to adjust and get it better than what it was on Saturday. That's for sure.
Well, the crazy thing is, certain quarterbacks will get these calls and other quarterbacks won't.
Yes, that's the worst part.
That's what makes me insane. Is if we call every game the same way and like, oh no, they were near a quarterback penalty. Like, but then like we see Goff getting his face rocked, a helmet to the face mask, but took his head off, nothing. Right in front of a ref too. Like, we can't be calling games so different from one another. But I feel so bad for the Texans defense in this matchup. I mean, they held the Chiefs offense to 212 yards. I mean, this Chiefs offense for the season has been number 2 in third down conversions. They held them to 4 of 11. Like
Yeah.
they played so well, but to be fighting the refs and I mean trying to maintain that energy against this offense, they had such a good offensive game. I mean, Will Anderson Jr. was insane. He finished the game with
Yeah.
4 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, and 4 QB pressures. Like to have that kind of game, hold this offense to so much less than what they're normally getting, and then to still miss their first chance at appearing in the AFC Championship game, like that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully the NFL takes a good look at it this offseason and makes some adjustments because I almost wanted to turn that game off at times, with some of these penalties. And, you got the Texans forced the Chiefs a 3-and-out with the game tied, and then the flag comes out. And it's just like, it's too much. But let's go to Lions Commanders, the Saturday night game, which was just amazing. Amanda, what did you think watching this? As the Commanders, Jaden Daniels was balling and throwing up points on that Lions defense.
I want whatever anti-anxiety pill he is on because he is far too cool and collected for a rookie in his first post. Like I'm maybe he's not doing drugs, but man, is he chill. Like
Yeah,
even the commentators were like, "What is his? Is he breathing right now? What is his pulse? Like 23?"
yeah.
Like he is so chilled out. Like I don't know if he meditates or what, but his mental state is impressive as hell. And we thought this game would be kind of a back and forth close thing. I was on the fence with picking this one. Could have gone either way. And, shout out to the Commanders. They played a hell of a game. A
Hmm.
lot of mistakes on the Lions. I think not that they handed it to the Commanders, but Jaden Daniels was just full strength on this one. It was awesome to see a rookie doing that.
Well, John, usually you expect to see those turnovers and mistakes from the young rookie quarterback in his first big playoff game, but instead, Goff, who I'm excited about because I've been saying it for 2 years that Goff is a turnover machine, and you see it on the biggest stage as a 1 seed at home. You got 4 turnovers, and it's hard to overcome that.
Man, they should have left old boy in, man. That's all I got to say. At least they got a touchdown when he was in the game.
Yeah,
But
you got Teddy. Leave him in.
Bridgewater.
Teddy
I'm
Two
like,
Gloves is there. Take
I
him.
know it's hard to fathom, and everything is when you look back like that. Hey, maybe we should have just left Teddy in and run the ball, and contain the ball. But it's definitely if I'm golf, if I'm Detroit right now, losing the OC already and maybe losing the DC. Like, what are y'all going to be next year? Is golf going to be that guy? 'Cause I think next year you're going to have a lot of more pieces coming back, but also you
Mhm.
got 2 big pieces that are probably going to leave, and whether we know it or not, the OC and the DC are the biggest guys, except for that one play when you got the receiver to throw the ball. Besides that,
Yeah, I don't know what
Throw a
that
pick.
was.
To throw
yeah,
a pick.
besides that,
Yeah.
he know how to call a game, but
Yeah.
just watching that game and watching Jaden, I think it has a lot to do with the new NFL, the way, like how soft the practices are now, and a lot of stuff is not as contingent for you being old or young. It's kind of like, look, if you can play, you can play. Like we're not
Yeah.
gonna sit here and say that we're going to give you something exactly what you had in college. We're not going to make this tough for you. We're not going to make it hard. You can run. We're going to make sure you run, stay out of the pocket, get it out your hand. We like that. Like I think everything they're doing this year, they're exceeding all their boundaries, but they know they could do this though. I
Yeah.
really feel like they know they could have did it, but also I think they like, wow, we're doing it. Like we're just gonna let Jaden do whatever. Like,
Yeah.
no, we don't need them rules. Like he don't. Hey, look, he's a vet. We don't care. We're gonna
Yeah.
treat him like a vet. Like whatever he feels comfortable with. If he breaks out of the pocket and throws it here, let him do it. Like, look, we'll
Yeah.
talk. We'll correct him after. He knows.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Instead of saying like you can't do this, you can't do this. What do you want to do? Like,
Yeah.
you virtually what do you want to do? What did you see on your virtual thing? Like we got to see again.
Like the game of Madden that's going in your head. What is happening? Tell
What
us.
is happening?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's cool though is the recovery. I mean, their first possession ended with a turnover on downs. They went for it on
Yeah.
fourth and they failed. To be able to forget about that and put up 28 in the second quarter. So the 28-14 second quarter is the highest second quarter in all of NFL postseason history. Like
Wow.
that's
85
crazy.
something, right? Some crazy number. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and to me, we finally saw the Lions defense break. And it was, we knew it was coming at some point, likely. with all those injuries.
Hurt though, they just keep getting hurt, even though like
Exactly.
it's tough because just seeing people going down like that, and they talking about 18, 17 people on injured reserve, and still having a squad that's made it that far. But this game is just, and I don't want to put it on one person, but you're the fucking quarterback, man. Like, just keep me in the game. Just don't turn it over. Like, we don't mind you taking a sack. We don't mind. Like, they would have had 8 sacks in this game. But the turnovers is what, you can't come back from that. And these games most of these games were winnable by any other team. It's like nobody got blowed out in any of these games we watched. It was just like, well, it was a good national championship game last night, though. Okay, but yeah, but, it is what it is, man. It's weird out here, man.
Well, so my thing is, the Lions. I mean, you can't turn the ball over like that. Mike Sanders still with 2 picks. I think the Commanders did a great job of bringing veterans in around Jaden, like Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz, Bobby Wagner, and so they don't play like. Remember Amanda Goff saying they're a young team, they're young bucks, and we're thinking like they're not really, and they don't play like it either.
I feel like his point is like the team is young, their vibe is young. They haven't made it to the postseason in 33 years. Like,
yeah,
I think he
but
means.
So is Detroit.
But they were there last year, and like with a young quarterback, that shifts the vibe of the team. Like having a quarterback who's never been in the postseason, I don't feel like he was talking shit. I know you're a Goff hater, so you're gonna think the
he was
worst.
talking shit.
But the defense in this one, I mean, Aaron Glenn has done everything right as far as replacing people and bringing them in, but there's only so much you can do when your defense is this injured. I mean, Amik Robertson had a broken arm in the first quarter. Like, this defense was cursed this year or something. I mean, they forced a single punt, and this offense, had they not had the turnovers, they could have won this game. Like, -4 turnovers, they still put up 31 points after turning the ball over 4 times. Like, if Detroit didn't have the turnovers, they could have easily outscored this team. But their defense, I mean, 45 points is a rough day for a defense. But this defense has been doing everything they can, that you just get worn out after replacing that many people. Like, next man up works for a couple weeks, but it just what a rough year for that defense.
So I looked back at these turnovers and mistakes by Detroit, and it wasn't just that they were turnovers and mistakes, it was when they happened. So the Lions were they were driving, they were looking to go up 14-3 or 10-3 at least, and that's when Goff fumbles. They were in it. It was 24-14, or it was 17-14, and Goff throws that pick 6. Now you're down double digits, just killer mistakes. Goff was driving down to score right before halftime, which would have cut it to 3, and he throws that pick, and then it was 4th and 2 in the red zone, and the Lions had 12 guys on defense and gave the Commanders an automatic first down. Just a lot of mistakes.
That one was weird too, because you saw the guy run onto the field and he was standing there yelling.
Yeah, Brady was all over that
stupid.
too.
He was like, "Yo, go!" And they're like, "What?" Yeah. Like, that one pissed me off. Also, I need to correct something. I said the Commanders haven't been to the postseason. They haven't been to the conference championship.
91.
I was getting heated. Only 5 players on that team were alive the last conference championship appearance. Like, that's fucking wild. And this is like, we talked about Detroit and being successful with the blitz, with their next man up situation and this defense being injured. Jaden Daniels completed 12 of 16 attempts against the blitz, 191 yards and a touchdown, which is the second most passing yards against the blitz by a rookie in any game in the past 9 years. Like, what a time to have a ridiculous game. Like, prime time, postseason, good for him.
Yeah. John, how are you feeling about this Commanders team? They got to go to Philly. That's going to be a tough game, but these two teams know each other well. They split the season series. Any chance the Commanders can steal this and go to the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback?
I think they can, only if Philly falls for this dumbass shit that they saying that they need to throw the ball. Stop listening to all these people talking about, the air game is out there. They're throwing, man, fuck y'all. We got Saquon gonna put up 200. We got Hurts gonna put up another 100. We
Yeah.
don't need to do that. Like, I hope they don't listen to these people, because I hear that's all I'm hearing. Like, well, Philly, oh, their air game is terrible. They can't do this. Jalen Hurts need to learn how to do this, and you weren't about to do reading the book on the sideline. Like, dude, Saquon, like,
Yeah.
dude, you don't need all this. Like, so that's when I hate when people try to find something that might lose the game instead of looking at what's winning. They didn't throw the ball all year. Yeah, they had like 400 yards a game or some shit like that. Don't try to make me feel bad about it and get the coaches in there like, hey, Jalen, you think we should try this? Yeah, let's try something new, because they ain't gonna be looking for this. Man, run that damn ball. Keep I said time of possession. Keep them off the damn field. Make it to the Super Bowl. Relax for a week. Then try to pass the ball when you get in the Super Bowl. Don't do that shit in Philly. Hey, use what you do best and win the game. Get to the Super Bowl, and in the Super Bowl you can try all those trick plays, do the stuff, get Smith happy, get AJ happy. No, right now, bro, look.
Get to the Super Bowl.
This score gonna be 3-0, motherfucker. We going to
yeah.
shit.
Well, what's funny is all the people talking about AJ Brown reading the book in the Packers game, like they were up 20 points. And we joked about how that score should have been like 80-0. Like the scoreboard did not reflect how that game went. Well, they just had enough time, and the game was so lopsided and boring that the cameraman had the time to, check in on what the people were doing on the sidelines. He said he's been reading a book on the sidelines every week since week 6.
Yeah, every time.
Like he's had this book for 3 months, and they just happened to notice it then. He's like, no, I bring that book onto the field every week. Like I have highlighted passages, I reread them to myself. It's kind of my mantra. Like, but the fact that this is now a thing and the media has hung up on it, like, oh, 1 catch for 10 yards. He was reading a book. They're not using the deep game. Like, who the fuck cares if it's working with the
exactly. Yeah, if you're winning, keep doing it.
Get a fucking ring. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. People can point to that. It's crazy that A.J. Brown in 2 playoff wins has 3 catches for 24 yards. But at the same point, it's working and they're winning. And Saquon went absolutely crazy in that Rams game. That was such a fun game to watch with all the snow. And Amanda Saquon was going crazy.
He was wild. That was so fun. I mean, 205 rushing yards, 140 of them between 2 carries. What's funny is Alex will call me a witch all the time because my picks are really good. I'm good at predicting things. Like that Commanders-Lions matchup where I said no punts, go for it on 4th down every time, like just ridiculous.
Yeah, you were all over that.
I nailed that. The immediate turnover on down starting the game, and I was like, oh no, is this going to be a defensive game like a 9-6? I would have been so mad. But I mean, Alex was like, now we just need another touchdown for Saquon. Immediately 70-yard touchdown, 78-yard. Yeah. The next play, I was like, okay, I see you.
I'm learning from the witchcraft. I'm developing my own. But John, that game was actually close. Like, it's crazy how it felt like the Eagles were dominating, but Stafford and the Rams actually had a shot. They got down to the 13-yard line in the final seconds.
Yeah, I really feel like the conditions were major. Like in these 2 games, the conditions were major, and
you couldn't see the end zone.
Yeah, I can say I give Stafford a lot more credit than I was talking for the whole year. I kind of felt like he wasn't playing like how everybody's hyping him up, but like in the playoffs, if this was they would have been in LA or they would have been on like a smoother surface. I don't know what this game would have been. I don't know what this game would have been. He played his ass off. Hopefully he can continue the next year and be better, like continue what he did in the playoffs. But it was just a good Philly team. I mean, young guys like Jalen Carter, they played well.
Jalen Carter, monster.
Yeah, he played great that game, and we could have had him here in
ball
Atlanta.
Punch out.
Yeah.
Could have had him here in Atlanta, so it's weird because
could have had him in Chicago too. He fell in the draft, and that never made any sense why he was falling.
I think because he was just a smaller end. Sometimes people scared to take him. I don't know why.
Yeah, but at Georgia, he was a monster, and he's a monster in the pros as well. So love to see it from him.
Well, while we're talking about defensive players, I know they didn't pull off the win, but Jared Verse had a ridiculous game. I mean, he was making havoc with the quarterback pressures in this one. 3rd down sacks, like he had a great game.
He had talk shit before the game, so he had to he had to
Yeah,
You
he
had to back
backed
it
it
up.
up.
he had
Yeah,
a billboard. Like if you're gonna say something that is press board material, you better
yeah.
have some press board material for after the game too. So if I had like
My
3
thing
seconds.
is, he played fine. The defense was fine. Puka Nakua being too scared to catch the ball with his hands because his little fingers were cold. Like, that's some bullshit. Like, he tried to catch the ball with his chest instead of his hands multiple times. Like, I think the offense failed him there, but I don't think he did anything wrong. I think he came in to the pregame, talked some shit, backed it up, and then his team didn't back him up.
Yep. But that was as far as like sitting back and enjoying it and watching it. All that snow in that game, that was so much fun. It was
So
amazing.
pretty.
But yeah. I mean, the Bears, my Bears hire Ben Johnson as head coach. I don't know about that. Like, I like it. The entire league says it's the right move. Everyone wanted him. What gives me hope is Tom Brady was recruiting him like crazy for the Raiders. So Tom Brady likes him. That's a good sign. But also, we have no idea if he can be a head coach. And he had a lot of success in Detroit, but I didn't like that trick play with the wide receiver throwing a pick.
Okay.
Let's keep it simple. But
I like
that
when you say throw to pick as if that was the intention. Like trick play, throw a pick, perfect, nailed it. What
Well,
is
well, well,
J-Mo doing?
that's just decision making. Because everybody said Williams was a terrible receiver to do that pass because he's
Oh
his
no.
decision making. They said even how he humped the ground, it was like after he scored a
Yeah.
touchdown, this dude had a straight just hump session on the ground. They just
Dude,
said
Sam Laporta would have
the
nailed that.
decision to
yeah,
throw him like why not use Ross St. Brown might have a
yeah,
smarter, no, I'm just gonna take the little sack here.
yeah.
I think if Caleb can get a good running game, he'll be a great quarterback. And also, just if he can tame like Caleb, look, I want you to be like Jared Goff, and not in a bad way, sir. I mean, you want to run the ball here, you want to get the ball out your hands. We're definitely not
Yeah.
going to do turnovers and stuff like that. We're not really worrying about you having 20 yards a game rushing. We rather you get the ball out quick and let the receivers do their job. This is
Yeah.
what we want from you, and just playing it like this, like you're going to be a star, but you're going to be a situated star. You make a deep pass. That's what we want from you. We don't want you to we're going to throw it 5 yards here and let the receivers do the work. All we
Exactly.
get the ball and get the ball out your hand. We don't want you to sit here and try to do all these trick plays and doing all these spin moves and trying to get out and under. No, we don't need that from you right now. Right now, we want to see you as a poised quarterback. Run when you have to, not when you want to.
Yeah. Early in,
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna say the behind the scenes story there about the Ben Johnson hiring that's so funny to me is the Commanders wanted him last year.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like, "No, I'm gonna go with Detroit." And then they take this rookie team and kick his butt. So now he's like, "No, you know what? I need a young quarterback. I got to beat Washington next year. Like, I want to start fresh. I want to be head coach. I want to prove their coach that I can do it." So he's
Mhm.
gonna try to Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams next year, and it's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah, I hope it works out. We'll see. But yeah, get a running game, but most importantly, also fix that offensive line. And to your point, John, get the ball out quick. And that should be something that's an easy sell to Caleb. Like, look, are you tired of taking all these hits? We're gonna run an offense that gets the ball out quick and improve the O line, get a running game. So we'll see if it works. Mana, did you like that Sam Laporta one-handed catch in the end zone?
It was
I
so
couldn't believe
good.
he caught that.
I was hollering that whole game. Like I was back and forth. Like, and I by the second quarter, you put up 28 points in the second quarter of the game. I have fully switched. Like I quit rooting for the
Yeah,
Lions because it's just such an awesome story. Like the potential of a rookie quarterback going to the Super Bowl. Like we,
yeah.
I love the story, and I mean Goff had me cooling off my Lions fandom there. Oof, no.
Great catch, bad defense.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's double cover the tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Dan Skipper.
We're
Why are
not
we doubling him?
you're not gonna get this trick play on us. No, you're not gonna get this on us. I'm like,
Not today.
That
yeah,
was a great point. I forgot about that.
yeah, that was so bad. That was so
Another
How are
thing
we
that was really
feeling?
funny that happened this weekend is when the Rams and the Eagles met up earlier this season. They talked a whole bunch of shit about like, oh, we weren't ready for Barkley. He put up 300 scrimmage yards against us in week 12. We're not going to let that shit happen again. No, just 200 this time. Like,
yeah.
that's not much
Ridiculous.
better, dude.
Not
Like
at all.
he's the only player in NFL history to have more than 200 scrimmage yards against the same opponent twice in 1 year. Like y'all didn't learn your lesson.
Well, it's crazy. They were saying they were stacking the box, and he was still going to the house.
What was the
Plus
box
that,
made out of? Fucking styrofoam?
yeah. Plus
That's
that Eagles O line is like,
that's the thing
yeah,
about stacking the box though. Like if you stack the box and they break, it's you know what I mean.
you got nothing out back.
And
Yeah,
everybody's been doing that, but
Open.
I think I told y'all this thing earlier when I was talking about how Bijan like didn't have a run over 40 yards, and he had like 5 or 6, and over 20 yards he had like 17, 18 because they stacked the box. And once he get one-on-one with that safety, you're effed, man. Like,
yeah,
this dude's thighs, like I'm not going low on him, might break my neck. I got to go high and try to push him out of bounds or something. It is what it is. Like think about it. Last week he could have had another 60 yards added to his name. He slid. I'm like, everybody wanted to
yeah,
see.
exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
the fantasy guys were so mad. I damn sure had him on my fantasy team for the first time, and I'm like, she's neat.
yeah. The anytime touchdown guys had to be so mad.
Oh shit, the son of a.
Are we is so? I'm gonna give you guys a hot take and let me know what you think. Jared Goff is Sam Darnold with a better team. You get in this big game, get in a big situation. We saw the same thing with Darnold. The big game, the pressure burst their pipes. They couldn't get it done. They started missing throws and turning the ball over in the biggest games. Can the Lions trust Goff to run it back next year and continue to build around him? I keep saying at some point the Lions need to draft somebody or get a franchise quarterback, upgrade that position. What do you think?
Well,
Dave?
I think they definitely should draft someone just because if you can do it, you know what
Yeah.
I mean.
Well,
I would give Golf another year. I don't see him being a Super
One
Bowl.
more year?
Like
Yeah.
this year was because the OC's gone, the DC's probably gonna be gone. It's gonna be a whole nother scheme you're gonna have to learn. It's gonna be a lot different this year. And
Yeah.
even if they got the players coming back, they beatable now. Like people like, man, they beatable. Hell, the only way to do is put a little pressure on Golf. We're good. Even if they win 12 games now, we still feel like you're gonna get in the playoffs and you're gonna nut up because you got Golf behind it. So it's just like
Yeah.
like the records don't really matter until you get in the postseason. Like we don't care. Like it's all about who you have in the postseason. Like even with Lamar, like we love Lamar, but it's like, dude. And I'm not putting it on him. It's just like you feel like the team is not ready.
Yeah.
Like
The coaching staff too, right? The coaching staff is playing a role in this. Yeah.
Exactly. Where like why y'all trying to pass the ball in the snow? Like everybody looking for y'all to run the ball. Everybody like some of the stuff we can say it was Lamar's fault. Like, and you got to think about he's playing like Lamar plays. So him trying to break that tackle and fumbling the ball, that's just Lamar. Like you can't say it's wrong
that's
for
the
that.
Lamar shit. Yeah.
Yes, that's just what he does. Like, so it's hard to say, oh, it was Lamar's fault. And even with Andrews, like the fumble, like people are saying he did it on purpose. No, he did not. Like he was trying to make a play. This guy's like, I messed up earlier. I dropped the pass earlier. So now he's thinking I got to get that back. And the drop, I just don't know what happened with the drop because I know it's slippery out there. And even like he dropped the pass, he got him to just start jogging back like he was going back to the hustle like they had another chance. Nah, bro. Like he got up off the ground and he started jogging like nah. This when you supposed to put your head down like shit. He was
I
just
think
like
the issue is he's a secret Josh Allen fan. I feel like he's
everybody was saying.
One of these shirts underneath the jersey. He pulling for the Bills. That's all.
I just Ram, though, man.
Can you imagine being on the Rams management and ownership team being like, no, we had a good team. We just had a quarterback who was a liability. Let's trade him away, bring in a quarterback. They win a Super Bowl. And then they watch the quarterback who was the liability, who supposedly found a new team where he could win, fuck it up in the postseason and being like, man, we did this. Like,
we made the right decision.
Right.
And that's the thing. The big playoff games answer all the questions. We got questions all season long. The big playoff games always show us who's for real and who's not. So, how are we feeling about conference championship? Who do you think is going to be playing in the Super Bowl, Abe? Chiefs and Eagles. That's the favorites probably.
So, I think Buffalo probably is the best team, and I'm just gonna put it out. I think they're the best team now since Baltimore got out of the game. But I think Kansas City. I think it's going to be Kansas City and Washington. I think Washington can possibly beat Philly if they play up to par. Now, if the defense for Philly comes to play, whole different story. Like that's a whole different
And
story.
they had a great week this week.
I think the big thing you said was about Wagner and that defense, and they pretty much are healthy right now, and they're playing up to par. Like they don't have to. I think they're going to do a better job of containing, Saquon. I don't think they're going to fall for the okie doke and be like, okay, well, we're going to try to load the box and let Saquon do this, and then he's going to break a big one. I think they're going to play smart football. Like if you're going to play a 4-3, play a 4-3. Don't let one man change how you play, because every time somebody load that box, he's going to hit a home run or something like that. And I hopefully that Philly won't listen to these critics and try to be like some passing team that's going to win the game. Now, if they do, cheers to them. But I would rather like stick to what I know. Like for me now, it's all about time possession, man. Whoever had the best time possession, no turnovers, which Philly has shown that they can run. They can run the ball and they can control the game, and I hope they do that. But I can see Washington. I can see Washington and Kansas City, but I also see Buffalo and Washington. I can see Buffalo and Philly. So it's
that's my pick. Buffalo and Philly.
I can see all. Like since these playoffs are so, because you can see so many people saying Detroit is going to win it this year. People's like Kansas City going to win. And she was like Buffalo the whole time. Buffalo going to win. Like there's no team that's really, because that's why I like this game now. Like it's almost like basketball. I hate watching basketball until the playoffs because
exactly.
None of that shit matters. Like none of that shit. Even like with the national championship last night, none of that shit mattered. Everybody 7 to 8 was playing. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. None of that shit ain't matter. Like, let's wait till the playoffs, and the playoffs come, and let's just see who the better player. We know who the most experienced is by far. So that's the only reason I'm going for the Chiefs. But if something magical happens, and I think everybody wants something magical to happen, because any team that wins, like any one of these teams, is going to be something new and something. It's going to be a new record. Like whatever.
We want the Cinderella story. Like we want.
Whatever team wins is going to be like a new record, or somebody broke something. That's crazy.
Somebody broke something. Josh Allen's heart, probably not.
Broke something. Shit.
What do you think, Amanda? Who you got?
Eagles, Bills.
Eagles, Bills.
Same.
I'm also Eagles, Bills, but I would love to see Bills Commanders, a rematch of like 92 Super Bowl or 91 Super Bowl. Wow. I love stuff like that, but Eagles Bills would be awesome. And this is my hope. We know refs are human. We know refs make mistakes. We know refs didn't try to give that game to Kansas City and try to screw over the Texans. Maybe they did, but you like to give them the benefit of the doubt. NFL, you want the benefit of the doubt? Fuck over the Chiefs for once. Give Josh Allen a free 15 yards and put the Bills in the Super Bowl. That's what America wants. If you want America to be happy with you, NFL, get the Bills in the Super Bowl.
Just keep your hands out of the game. The Bills will win on their own.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the play calling this week. I really want to see who plays great football. Like it's just going to be, because it's both cold states. So it's going to it's going to really be real football. It's not like because you're in the dome and they're trying to score 40 points. It's really like who's going to have the best kicker. And Amanda has like 10 contracts already for kicker, and she ain't signed one yet. I keep calling her. Get on the squad. So this is going to be.
They need some kickers.
Yeah, like the best team.
I don't know if soccer players have like a group chat where they're like, "Yo, I think my career's about over in the soccer league. Maybe we should switch because the NFL needs about 15 new kickers next year."
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait for the conference championship, but it's great having you guys on every week talking football. John, always great with the insight. And looking forward to conference championship. So let's go Bills and anybody but the Chiefs. I'm going to say that the entire way through. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and have a great week, guys. Peace out.